computer science class certainly woke me up after Honda's snooze fest. But, as is the case every week, the bell eventually signed off the end of the day for most students. For myself, it kicked off the extra hour and a half I get to spend with not only my girlfriend, but 3 of my closest friends. Just a few more doors to pass and I'll be there. Hey everyone! My greeting gets the attention of the other 3 present club members. Natsuki being absent for earlier, I'm guessing. Yuri sheepishly waves at me as Monika approaches me. Oh. I was wondering for a moment, the eyes. They may have made a sprite with these eyes. And then you notice, I think those are not, it's Yuri's eyes. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to see where things come from. Hey, hun! Monika beams happily. Hey! We quickly embrace each other. Hiya, Jasmine! Sayuri smiles cheerily and I smile back. Hey, Saya, you doing good? I am, yeah! Although I gotta ask, where's Natsuki? Mon and I share a nervous giggle, our minds being immediately brought back to lunch. Yeah, about that. Let's just say Jasmine and I were getting a bit lovey-dovey and Natsuki... Well, you know how Natsuki gets. Sarah's able to stifle a giggle as she mouths, oh my god. What happened after that? Well, the corridor went silent. Some people started murmuring. And one of Nat's teachers dragged her in. She may have slightly embellished that last part, but seeing Natsuki's reaction is see, my god, what do I have with names today? Sarah's reaction is priceless. And then, as if on cue, hey, your girl's back! Sorry I took so long. Hey, Nat. Hey, Natsuki. How was the tension? Monika and I laughed nervously as Natsuki gasps in fox shock. Sarah turns off to safety, giggling her peach-colored head off. Natsuki grits her teeth as she locks her eyes onto me. Wait a second. I hate cutting off like music parts. I only cut it off if I absolutely have to. But generally I really don't like doing it because I know it's just that I personally don't like doing it. If anything, I would ever like try to speed it up because I don't want to cut out anything. So I don't know if I'll change that because then I'd have to be very careful with the cutting so that I don't miss anything if I've made my promise. But I feel like I might be able to. I'll see how I'm going to do it. Depends on the moment, I guess. That's why when I need to go up and do something, I usually tend to do it during times where there is no music, because then I can just unapologetically cut it out later. With a few exceptions, of course. Sometimes you can't wait when there's a cat locked up in the room next to you. Natsuki grits her teeth as she locks her eyes onto me. Alright. You told her about that?! Monika giggles once more, probably at Natsuki's immediate assertion that I'd told Sayori about what happened. Assertion? Oh, yeah. Assertion. No, actually. That'd be Marnie that told her. Monika looks surprised at my sudden ousting of her. I mean, she did ask. Natsuki stays silent for a moment before once again focusing her energy on me. Throwing your girlfriend under the bus like that? Maybe I'm as whipped as I thought. Christ, you ever gonna let that go? Not my personal favorite thing to connect to anything romantic or sexual. Nope. Yep, just as I thought. Feeling proud, Natsuki cheerily walks over to the closet. Monika steps a little closer to me. You don't mind if I talk to Sayori for a bit, do you? Of course I don't mind. I decide not to press her on exactly what she wants to talk with Sayori about. I'm not that nosy after all. Plus, knowing Monika is probably about the finals of the club. I promise I won't be too long. Monika is off to join Sayori at the front desk. The music stopped again. I would have a moment to leave, but I currently have no need to leave. Monika walks off to join Sayori at the front desk. As for me, I take a seat in a nearby desk. I suppose the best thing I could do is pick out a book to read. Finally! Christ, for someone in a literature club, I sure don't read as much as I thought I would. Maybe I could ask you, Jasmine. Are you feeling okay? Ah! My sudden, albeit hushed yelp startles Yuri, who had seemingly popped out of nowhere. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. No, Yuri didn't scare me. I just didn't see you. Yuri sighs as she smiles shyly. It's an almost one-for-one of her smile from when I first came in today. Well, I best get going back to my reading. Actually, Yuri, you mind if I ask you something? Me? Yeah, just something quick. Yuri gently smiles as she scoots a nearby desk next to mine. I'm listening. So, I lower my voice. Do you remember when you bumped into me on Saturday? I do, yes. I also remember Monika not really making me feel particularly... Yeah, about that. I rest my hand on the back of my neck. I just want to apologize for how Monika acted back then. Yuri looks a little confused. Wait, you're apologizing for her? I nod a little nervously, quickly glancing back at Monika in case she overheard me. Unless she's apologized to you already, of course. Yuri's eyes glide towards the ground. Now that you mention it, she's kind of been avoiding me today. Monika had the tendency to need to talk to someone first before fully approaching the problem. This might be a case like that, actually. She needs to get the emotions out first before she can start tackling the problem at hand. Actually, the others do know quite a bit that she is, like, imperfect and that she's scared of things because she has expressed it to them before. What? She has? She nods. I mean, it's a definite possibility that I could just be overthinking again. But I was just wondering if you two are okay. Me and Moni? Yeah, we're so good. I'm glad. I hate it if I was the cause of a rift between you two. A small but very audible chuckle leaves my lungs before I quickly cover my mouth. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Monika looking over at me. There's a look I can vaguely describe as confusion, although it quickly dissipates as a gentle smile forms on her face. Me being me, I smile back before returning my attention to Yuri. If it helped, would you want me to talk to her about it? Yuri ponders a little before replying. If it's possible, yes. And maybe after the club's finished today, perhaps. I'll try, don't worry. If I was anyone else, maybe I wouldn't have that much trouble mentioning it now. Emphasis on maybe. Regardless, I know how much Yuri hates confrontation, especially if she's at the center of it. Thank you. It's okay. Just wanna try clear the air a bit, you know? Well, I appreciate it regardless. Yuri and I end up chatting for a little while longer. Just general catching up on school and stuff she's been reading. Soon enough though, Monika goes out to the club in her trademark style. Okay everyone, it's time to share poems. And with that, we all start the familiar routine. Getting our poems out, going around the club and sharing them. I still find it slightly funny. Something a part of me would have considered torture years back has become etched into my brain as if it was second nature. And honestly, I'm not even mad. It actually feels great to get creative and not have my arse sat facing a screen for several hours. There you go. I hope he still continues making music though. The session eventually comes to an end, and we all start packing up for the day. Both Natsuki and Yuri leave not long after. After zipping up my bag, I approach Monika. Hey, Jasmine! She greets me with her usual cheery tone. Hey, Moni, you ready to head home? Almost. I just gotta put the rest of this paperwork in my bag. Just wait in the corridor with Sayori, I won't be long. I look over to Sayori, who's holding the door open with her arm, gesturing towards the corridor. Come on, lovebirds! Mom's getting tired like this! I give Moni a quick kiss on her cheek before moving to join Sayori. The pair of us then move into the corridor to wait. True to her word, Monika didn't take too long to finish packing. The three of us ended up going the usual route, along with a stop at a nearby store. Of course, it was mostly because Sayori was hungry, but the store near school has some nice fried chicken, so I can't complain. Eventually, we make our way into mine and Sayori's street. I'll see you both tomorrow! See you tomorrow! Later, Saya! Sayori gives both Monika and I a goodbye hug before heading inside. The walk to mine doesn't take too long, especially given that Sayori and I are neighbors. As I go to grab my keys from my pocket, Monika releases my hand. I turn to face her. You want me to call when you get back? Of course, yeah. But can I ask you something first? Of course, yeah. I slide my hands into my pockets. Part of me can already guess what she wants to ask about. Or rather, who. I know this is probably gonna make me sound like a jealous so-and-so. But I noticed you talking to Yuri earlier. Called it. Like, I'm not mad. I couldn't be mad at you. Especially not for talking to a friend. No, that'd just be stupid. That's oddly specific. So is it jealousy? Did Yuri make... Why Yuri of all people? Did something happen with Yuri? I shake off the weird feeling quickly. Yuri told me you've been ignoring her today. I guess I sigh, internally debating how best to phrase what I'm about to say. You're not doing it deliberately, are you? At that, Monika's stunned. For a brief moment, I get this sinking gut feeling in my stomach. A million different outcomes play out in my mind on how Monika could potentially respond. No! I didn't realize that I was ignoring her. I've just been preoccupied with my thoughts today. I guess it was a little worse than I thought. I rest my hand on Monika's shoulders. Your dad's been bothering you again? She nods regretfully. Okay, so her father... Oh, God. Given how little I know about her dad, there's only a few things I can imagine him moaning about. I feel like what is with her father could honestly be... I mean, we can't really talk about the main game. You know? We can't talk about how her family is there because I'm pretty sure by the end of it she doesn't even remember it herself. And when it comes to the side stories, like the imagined family that was implemented to her after she after like the monitor kernel access was added to the world, like the imaginary parents they might have given to her. But in the side stories, I would say that maybe there is pressure, but for some reason I feel like it wouldn't be... I feel like it might just be from... Like, I don't feel like it would be this intense. But I feel like this goes again to the part of if you don't add a little bit to it, then it would be difficult to make a mod. So I'm not going to judge it, but I just wanted to say from what I personally feel like, I feel like both of her parents are about a similar amount of pressuring, but they don't even notice that they're pressuring. They just started, maybe she was very quick to learn piano and stuff. Maybe there is in fact a bit of natural talent in her. They saw it and then started putting a lot of pressure on her, and they were just actually just genuinely proud of her, and it just spiraled into something within Monika that makes her feel like she has that made her into like this perfectionistic part of herself. Maybe they could also add like school life to it with like the debate club and all. But I feel like if I were to make a mod backstory, I don't feel like I would be this extreme that like a father is like calling her stupid and stuff. Maybe be disappointed when she would get like average grades and stuff, because he's just not used to it, but he still tries to support her, but she just notices that they expected more. Maybe. I feel like that already works perfectly fine as like a problematic relationship with the parents, even though neither person is to blame. Because Monika isn't perfect. She'll never be perfect. Although that one, the song said the perfect, and I like the song. And her parents aren't exactly fully to blame either. They are the ones who would need to change their perspective a bit more and notice that it's not healthy to put that much pressure on their child, but they generally aren't bad people, and I kind of feel like a conflict like that would work perfectly fine. But like I said, this is just like how I would write a mod in the side story universe. I just felt like I wanted to share it because the fact that they decided to make like her father call her names and stuff, I feel like that's quite extreme, and I don't understand why it's always the father. Why they always want like their mothers to either not be present or to be perfectly fine people. Because from what I've noticed, there was never there appears to be no mod with like their mothers aren't that good of people. And I must say, I personally feel like my relationship isn't the best with neither of my parents. And I know some people where the father was definitely the worst person, but there were also some quite aggressive mothers, so it's just like mothers and like our friendship groups. And I feel like it just surprises me a little bit as always the father. Like, maybe it's more common, and I just don't exactly notice it, because when I'm speaking to my friends and we're talking about family struggles, it's about an equal amount. Oh, this is shit, and this parent is shit, or both parents are shitty. But it's just a bit surprising to me on a personal level. Either a relationship, her university prospects, or for no discernible reason at all. I mean, there are parents like that, so. Again, with how little I know, it could be one of those or something completely different. AKA it could be anything. With that uncertainty playing in my mind, I decide not to press it. Look, all I'm gonna suggest is talk to Yuri. Just to clear this all up, you know? I suppose you're right. I quickly plant a kiss on Monika's cheek, causing her to look back to me with a smile. You trust me, right? Of course I do, Jasmine. It's just... I've only really known Yuri since she joined the club, and I know she can hold in a lot when something's bothering her. Well, at least that's how she was with her and Natsuki's first major disagreement. You still know her better than I do. If there's anyone that can get through to her, it's you. Gosh, you sound so sure. She tries to regain some of her confidence, though her nerves still peek through. I intertwine my fingers with Monika's, and her eyes look back into mine. That's because I am sure. I believe in you, you know? She tightens her grip on my hands. I know, hun. Just another reason why I love you so much. She lets out a soft giggle. I smile, a faint scarlet hue washing over me. I love you too. I'll call you when I'm home. I'll be waiting. When we share a quick kiss before Monika heads off. I then turn to my door and, after finally unlocking it, I head back inside. That was more jealousy, huh? So I'm guessing it was... Was there any type of conflict now, or was it in fact just jealousy and she just had to first come to terms with the fact that she was jealous, in fact, a little bit? Let's see, maybe we'll find out? Or it's just, like I said, just jealousy and she just needs to grow in that aspect. Let's see. I end up heading straight to my bedroom. The sooner I get out of the stuffy uniform, the better. I decide to just play some games whilst I wait for Monika. Of course, that wait doesn't last too long. The light from the early morning sun almost blinds me as I reluctantly raise from my bed. I yawn, partially hoping to nod off back to sleep and again. Even if I did manage to somehow get back to sleep, I wouldn't be able to get back to that dream I was having. It's a shame. It was a really nice dream too. Soon after forcing myself out of bed and my mind out of the gutter, I end up getting into the normal routine. Shower, get dressed, breakfast. Give me a second, I want to quickly check out that I'm recording properly. Looks like it. Then we go full screen again. We're still doing we do need to get all of the things done. We can't just... This isn't as quick as it is in the text. It's formulaic as fuck, but easy to keep track of. As I'm finishing up breakfast, there's a knock at the door. It's open! I call out towards the front door, only being answered by the sound of the door opening. Footsteps then come closer to the kitchen, soon followed by a voice. Morning, Jasmine! I place my ball in the sink before turning around. Morning, you two. Monika looks anxious, that's a good sign. Sarah beams, as do I. But something about Monika seems... off, yeah. The only thing that comes to mind is that she seems to be spacing out. Monika? No response. I step a little closer. Moni? Still nothing. Are you good? Hello! Of to future Miss Takeuchi? I'm assuming that's our last name. My cheeks go a little red hearing Sayori referring to Monika by my last name. Huh? Monika seems to finally return to Earth. Thankfully, Sayori didn't have to resort to tapping her finger on her head. Oh, morning, Jasmine. Sorry, I just spaced out for a second. I figured. Then again, knowing there's been times where she snapped at school, maybe spacing out isn't too unrealistic for her. I walk towards her and rest my head on her arm. My hand on her arm, probably. Yep, hand. You don't have to apologize. I still do it most of the time. As does Sayori. Monika chuckles slightly as Sayori scowls at me. Your words for it, Jasmine! Okay. I smirk, seeing a way I can turn the situation back in my favor. My teeth feel like they keep... Like my front teeth feel like they keep... Like digging into each other and it hurts. Am I though, Sayo? Sayori pouts and playfully mimics my voice. Am I though, Sayo? Oh my god. You pair are hysterical. Come on, you two. Let's get going before we're late. You lead the way. Monika takes my hand as the three of us start filing out the house. We're filling the house with our presents. It doesn't take us that long to get to the school gates. I swear when we think we're gonna be late, we subconsciously walk a bit faster. Though, like many other things, that's probably just me. No, I've noticed it as well. When I'm concerned that something's like late, I end up like walking faster. There are many weird things I've noticed when walking. Like, for example, sometimes when I walk, I space out. Like, I'm pretty sure that's quite normal. But I've noticed I literally look out for myself while I spaced out. Like, I check the streets while I'm spaced out. And if there's a car coming, even though I'm spaced out, I notice it and I don't continue walking. And I don't know if that's amazing or kind of scary. A thought then crosses my mind. Hey, just a question. Both girls look at me, awaiting my question. What have you two got today? I mean, I've got a council meeting today. Oh, we've got that English exam before lunch. Wait. I clasped my hand over my mouth, utterly embarrassed. I can't believe I forgot. Well, in all fairness, I can believe it because it's me. I'm guessing you haven't revised that much. Fuck, she's right. But I can save myself, can't I? Well, actually, and I've got no comeback. Fucking sound. Oh gosh, looks like you've got your hands full, Monty. Sarah says it in an almost sing-song tone. My voice feels like it's vibrating. I feel my cheeks flare up yet again. Oh, if only I had 100 yen for every time that's happened recently. Don't worry, Sayori. I think I can handle him. So, Monika's gentle smile helps to ease my embarrassment. Though, just as that embarrassment starts to fade, the bell chimes, replacing that embarrassment with a feeling that borders on dread. Monika takes me out of my slight daze by giving me a quick kiss on my lips. Consent! You'll do just fine. I'll see you later. Monika then disappears into the growing flood of students. I just end up standing there for a brief moment, simply smiling to myself. Oi, Romeo! Sayori playfully nudges me. We're gonna be late! Sorry. Sayori and I then start heading to our exam. If only I'd actually remembered it was today. I mean, Monika seems to believe in me. So there's a plus. I gulp. Hopefully I don't completely fuck this up. Believe in yourself. I sit there spacing out in the vacant classroom we've had to make two before today's council meeting. We usually have our meetings in this. Oh wait, that's Monika. Oh why is it auto? I sit there spacing out in the vacant classroom we've had to make for today's council meeting. We usually have our meetings in the staff room, but that's currently occupied. Can you? For what reason, I don't know. Go away. In all fairness, I haven't really been able to focus that much. I don't want to, but I just keep reminding myself of what Dad said last night. I just felt like I need to talk to someone about what I was thinking about Yuri. Of course, I didn't mention Yuri by name. I only meant for Mom to know, because mostly because I trust her with stuff like this. But Dad has always overheard the whole thing. Oh, Jasmine's seeing this mystery girl behind your back. Guys these days are all the same. Stop being so gullible. Just the same shit he's been trying to peddle since he first found out about him. So she got a bit more anxious than usual. I know, Jasmine. He wouldn't hurt me like that. But despite me knowing that, I can't shake off his words. Maybe I can talk to Sayori about it after school. She knows Jasmine better than anyone I know. I just need some reassurance. Hey, Monika? A voice calls my name. My train of thought is then broken by a hand being waved in front of my face. I I know you wanna daydream about your boyfriend, but we got a council meeting now. You can daydream about him all you want at lunch. I swear, Katanoa keeps teasing me about Jasmine like she's only just found out. Besides Sayori, she was one of the first to find out. Well, one of the first to tell me, anyway. Oh, will you look at that? I think you caught her out. And with that, my cheeks flushed crimson. Thanks for that, Kao. There's a total of 6 of us. Jeez. There's a total of 6 of us in the council, but I feel much closer to Kao and Katanoha. I definitely consider them friends, but I just wish I could open up to them a bit more. Hell, I wish I could be me without people possibly thinking less of me. With Jasmine, I've always been able to be myself around him because we're seemingly in the same wavelength. But is he the exception? Sorry about that. I guess I'm still a little jitty over my first boyfriend. I rest my head in my hands as my eyes start towards Kaho, a cheeky smirk forming on her face. And I'm probably right in guessing you were like this when you started dating Ryuji. Well, gotcha. I mean, yeah. I was only in junior high when we got together. How could I not be a little jitty? And besides, it's not like we're mad at you for being all lovey-dovey about him. It's actually pretty cute. Thanks, Kodo. Katanoha can be a little hyperactive sometimes, but she can be really sweet. Kinda reminds me of Sayori a little. Say, any idea where everyone else is? I mean, Seto solo. Thankfully so, he's such a prick. Amen to that. But as for Anzu and Toshio, I think they're still in that English exam. In that case, why hasn't the meeting delayed? Why wasn't the meeting delayed? Beats me. Plus, let's just be honest. The staff here ain't the most organized. I chuckle. That's the thing I like about Kaho. She tells it as it is, although nobody near as much as Natsuki tends to do. And then there's me, the one who can barely be honest with herself. I silently sigh, praying for lunch to hurry up. After finally being let out of the exam, I can breathe a sigh of relief. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but like many of the exams I've had in the past, I'm at least 50% sure I've screwed up somewhere. Unless it's just me being overly critical of myself. Wouldn't be the first time, 4th or 6th time. Wouldn't be the 1st, 4th or 6th time. Gah! I'm set off my days by the feeling of 2 hands jabbing my ribs. Hands that can only belong to Gotcha! Oh, Jesus Christ, that expression is scary! Maybe they'll teach you for spacing out when I'm trying to talk to you. Jesus Christ! Sayori! Sergei is maniacally flashing me a playfully wicked smile. That's just a wicked smile, that's not playful! I laugh with her, trying to numb my pain. Note to self, pay attention to Sayori or suffer the consequences. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the roof and eat lunch and... Oh, so that's why you're calling her now. Sayori! Never in a million years would I have ever expected her to crack a joke like that. Ah, I think I got it. I'm guessing Natsuki's sense of humor finally rubbed off on her. Why is Natsuki's sense of humor just sexed anyway? Either that or she was waiting for the precise moment. And credit where it's due, it would have got a chuckle out of me if I wasn't completely flustered. Jeez, can you for once stop being flustered? That, and I think some of the other students might have heard her. Knowing what some of them are like, they've more than likely assumed 30er. I have unable to come up with even a semi-decent comeback. Look, you wanna tag along? You sure? I wouldn't be offering otherwise. The squiggly line is sometimes really throwing me off because for me this implies I have to be like a little more singing. But the problem is you can't just be singing the whole time because given the amount of times it appears to always occur, this is a musical. Besides, I'm sure Monty wouldn't mind. Okay! Like, there I can imagine. But it's just a lot of it. The pair of us then start to... Great. Great reading, Amy. The pair of us then start the walk to the roof. Just 2 floors and a metric fuckload of stairs to go. Damn the architect that designed this place. A minute or two later, we're walking on the 2nd floor. Wait a second. Okay. Done walking on the 2nd floor. Whilst I'm more focused on getting to the roof, Sayori seems to be gazing out of the window. It eventually gets to the point where she stops walking, letting out a small gasp. Sayo? I follow her gaze out the window and look out of the window. All I can see is the courtyard. What could Sayori be acting all surprised over? Eventually, though, the sight of a very familiar white ribbon catches my eye. Before I can say anything, Sayori points her out from the crowd. Well, the best she can was we're on the 2nd floor. I thought you two usually met on the roof. We do, yeah. I reach into my pocket. I'm gonna call her. Why don't you just go out to her? You can't hide on the roof forever, you know. We're not trying to hide. Force of habit, I guess. Even if we were trying to hide our relationship, we'd be doing a pretty shite job considering everyone knows. I relent. Alright, we'll go. We both then backtrack back down the stairs. It's this courtyard again. After quickening our pace, we make it outside. The only sound around us are the faint chirping of birds and the miscellaneous chit-chat from other students. I hope I said that correctly. We walk for a bit longer before... Hey? This comma is very confusing, I'm sorry. We walk for a bit longer before we come face to face with the school's lone security and the benches around it. And on one of those aforementioned benches, of course, it's Monika. She appears to be writing something, whether it's a poem or something else, I'm not sure. As to not distract her, I opt to go towards her without getting her attention. Sayori, on the other hand, decides to sprint towards her. Hey, Money! Huh? Monika snaps her head up in response to Sayori. It doesn't take her long to notice us. Oh, hey, you two. She pats the spaces next to her and we join her on the bench. Sayori gets out her small lunch and starts to eat almost instantly. I partially do the same, but I don't eat straight away. I turn my face to look at Monika. I missed you. And now my stupid grin returns. I swear I'll grow out of doing this eventually. It's only been a few hours, Jasmine. Point taken. But still, don't worry, I missed you too. Oh, how was the exam, by the way? I'd say I did okay. For the most part, anyway. Let me guess, tough question? I think someone fell asleep during their exam. I chuckle a bit as Sayori says that while still chewing. I think someone fell asleep during their exam. I missed you. Don't worry, I missed you too. Sorry, but I'm just trying to imagine how I would usually try to say these things. But I can't just be the whole time like... Like, I try to put like a little melody on it while I speak when I notice that there's like this line at the end, but it doesn't always work. A little part of me wishes I did. That's true, Jasmine. No, I didn't. I scratched at my neck. It was a little tempting, though. Monika rolls her eyes, but eventually gives me a sly smirk. I mean, not that I'd entirely blame you if you did. But please, don't do that. I want to see you do well, remember? I know. I know. I think I won't try to do this now. Because it's just too difficult. I kept Monika's reminder short by gently squeezing her hand. In a way I've always wanted to make you proud. Monika's heart visibly skips a beat. That's dangerous. You mean she, like, lost consciousness? You have? Sarian gives a slight chuckle. What are you giggling at? Oh, nothing. Just think it's funny that Monika seems shocked about you wanting to impress her. I thought it was already pretty obvious. I feel myself go a bit red. You really blush a lot, you guys. Well, Monika rests her hand on my knee. It's okay. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. She's right. There's certainly a lot more I could be embarrassed over. Soon enough, our chat is interrupted by the school bell. Sayori, Monika, and myself each say our goodbyes before we go our separate ways. Only a few more hours to go, and I'll see them again. Is this us or Monika? I'm going to read it in my voice for now. As the bell rang out for the end of the day, I start to pack my stuff away. After zipping up my bag, I sling it over my shoulder and start heading for the club. Yeah, I think that's him. I follow the usual route to the club room, avoiding the few students that remain in the hallway. Before I step inside, I look through the little glass pane on the door to see if anyone else is in. Like both Tuesdays before, I'm the first one to arrive. I guess this confirms my suspicion from last week that I'm the only one of us to have a class on the second floor today. I let myself in. After shutting the door, I go to sit at the desk closest to window and rest my bag next to my legs. I really don't want to be insulting. Like, that's how I used to write, but the problem is it reminds me of how I wrote when I was like 10. Like, not with big or bag. And I didn't really struggle with like putting a pronoun or things like that in front of words. But I did have like struggles with some like grammar. Like I for some reason always forget the past of run or like run is was like ran, and in my old stories when I read them it was like run it. She run it away. So it tends to always remind me of that. I wonder if like that's why I tend to not like rate grammar, because they could just be not a native speaker and reading some and they were like trying to write it more quickly, and due to that they struggle doing it because they're already not a native not native English, native speaking writing English. But I do feel like sometimes mods should be proofread, because I mean, closest to window and rest big next to my legs. I then rest my head in my hands. Admittedly, I'm worn out. But unfortunately, the school's vending machines don't stock energy drinks, throwing that plan out of the window. However, the door clicks and opens. Yuri walks in and takes a seat near the center of the room. She didn't seem to notice me as she silently sets her bag down and pulls out a book and starts to read. Well, at least she has a bag, not a bag. Sorry. A few minutes pass with no one else coming through the door. Maybe I could have a bit of a chat with Yuri. I think for a moment. I raise from my seat and walk over to Yuri. My progressing footsteps catch her attention. Oh, hi Jasmine. How are you? I'm doing alright, just a little exhausted. Yuri closes her book over, using her hand as a makeshift bookmark. Oh, I sometimes do that. Monika mentioned that you had an exam this morning. In all fairness, she didn't really speak to me that much. Still, she told me she was going to try last night. I don't wish to cause any issues, but she seemed a little more blunt with me today. I'm assuming it's because of her dad, but I feel like it would make sense either way if she was like still a bit struggling with jealousy, even if not self-aware. Yuri falls quiet. I pull up a seat next to her. Yuri. Her eyes snap to look at me. For some reason I said that very weirdly. I can't say I know exactly where Monika is being like this, but I tried to talk to her about it. Thank you, Jasmine. Yuri smiles sheepishly. Just then the door opens. Monika walks in and I greet her almost instantly. Afternoon, sweetheart. Hey, Jasmine! Her expression falters as soon as she notices Yuri next to me. But rather than being stern, like part of me assumed she would be given how Yuri described, she just smiles. Is this the wrong sprite then? Albeit with a bit of a nervous tinge to it. There we go. Hey Yuri! Her voice trails off. She then moves over to the front desk, her expression looking like her nerves have taken hold of her once more. Yuri gives me a curious look. I leave from my seat and then start going towards Monika. Internally, I'm starting to feel the same sense of mild dread I had when I was about to talk to Yuri about what happened. After getting to the front desk, I sit on its edge. Hey, Moni. I lower my voice. Monika responds quietly. There's something about that look on her face, though. Something slightly concerning. I lift an arm, gesturing for Monika to come over. After a brief moment, she joins me and rests her head on my chest. I take a deep breath, keeping my voice low. You doing okay? You seem stressed. Monika nods sheepishly. They're doing very many things sheepishly. Why am I picking up on these things right now? Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little exhausted, that's all. Monika feigns a smile. It's obvious she's not feeling herself. I then look back to quickly get a glimpse of Yuri. She's gone back to reading, the world around her all but a blur. I look back to Monika, pulling her in a little closer. Are you sure that's all? Monika looks up, giving me a slight hint of irritation in her gaze. She then wriggles out of my grasp and sighs, trying to keep her voice low. Jasmine, I told you already. I'm fine. What else do you want? To say I'm taken aback by Monika's demeanor would be an understatement. Yuri mentioned her seeming blunt, but to see it with my own eyes... Well, it's a bit of a shock to see her like this. Moni, something clearly happened. Yuri mentioned you were a little off. Please Oh, did she now? Oh, she did now. Tell me, Jasmine, what else have you two been saying about me? What? Where the hell did you get that idea? I've barely spoken to Yuri since Saturday. What about yesterday, then? You two seemed like you were having fun. I run my hands on my face, desperately trying to figure out just what the hell is going on. With all the respect, Monika, I was only asking Jasmine if you were okay. That's it. Nothing more than that. Yuri steps in to back me up, her tone echoing my growing frustration. Please, just tell us what's wrong. You're not acting like yourself. And to be honest, you're starting to scare me a little. After those words leave Yuri's mouth, Monika's expression suddenly shifts. Yeah, I feel like that could be accurate. Like her unintentionally her frustration unintentionally taking over, but her realizing that she's doing something wrong. Like that is how she acts in the side stories. I feel like that's quite accurate. But I feel like the part of her that's feeling quite jealous, that would not need to be like amplified by her father to have this type of storyline either. Gone is the seeming anger brewing behind those emerald eyes, now replaced by a more remorseful look. I, I'm... Christ, what is wrong? What is wrong with me? Monika? My heart sings. I look back to Yuri, her expression borderline mirroring mine. She goes to say something, but the door suddenly swings open. Hello, Literature Club! Sayori's cheery demeanor provides a sudden burst of light to the club. A light that is quickly extinguished as soon as she opens her eyes and sees the current situation. She stays silent. Jasmine, I'm sorry. Monika rushes off the club room, barely keeping it together. Sayori hurries after her not long after she leaves, and then Natsuki walks in. Would someone mind telling me what the hell just happened? I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I don't know, Nat. I then slink towards the desk at the far corner of the room, right by the window. I hold my head in my hands, my eyes making occasional glances towards the outside world. Sorry. An awkward silence takes a hold of the club as I hear Yuri and Natsuki move around the room, presumably trying to get into their usual activities. I'm just left worrying about Moni. Sure, Sayori with her. But I'm just hoping if they talk about this. But I'm just hoping if they talk about this, that Monika's honest with her. I've only seen Monika get worked up like this a small handful of times. Even then, I hate seeing her like this. I'm pretty sure that's normal. Moni and Sayori eventually returned to the club room. Monika seemed to be doing a little better. Despite that, the awkward atmosphere doesn't die down. It just remains as a lingering constant throughout the rest of the session. We didn't even end up sharing poems today. Not that I would have done anything to salvage the atmosphere. Not that it would have done anything to salvage the atmosphere, but it would have at least been something pleasant to pass the time. As I'm getting my bag on, Sayori walks over to me. Hey, Jasmine. How are you holding up? I sigh through partially open lips. I'm doing a bit better. I look down for a brief moment. About what happened earlier, it's fine, Jasmine. Sayori then rests a hand on my arm. Don't take this the wrong way, but I think it'd be better if you went home on your own today. Monika said she wanted to talk to me after club anyway, so... I nod. Okay. I don't know what it was about the that sentence, but I felt a pit form in my stomach just now. I'm starting to think Sayori's starting to notice that. She's not angry at you, Jasmine. It's some other stuff she wants to get off her chest. I nod more and go to walk out the club room. Before I leave, though, I turn to face Sayori once more. Sayo? Yeah? I put a hand on her shoulder. Just make sure Moni's okay. Sayori gives me a soft, gentle smile. I'll do my best. With that bit of reassurance, I'll do my best. Seems more like her expression. I then leave the club room. As I open the door, I catch a final glimpse of Monika. She's standing at the very front of the room, her eyes, from what I can tell, locked to the floor. I know Sayori basically told me not to worry, but I can't help it. It's just only been 2 weeks since we got together and I'm already fretting about that? Fuck, I really need to stop overthinking things. I stop in the middle of the corridor for a brief moment and pull out my earphones. If I'm really walking home alone, I might as well do something to keep myself from looping my thoughts in silence. I put my playlist on shuffle and restart my walk. Okay. I give it a few minutes before checking to see if Jasmine has gone yet. Peering my head out the window, I'm able to catch a glimpse of him heading out the gates. He seems to be taking a slow walk back. Is he gone yet? Yeah, he just left. Okay, so it's Sayori. I give it a few minutes before checking to see if Jasmine has gone yet. Peering my head out the window, I am able to catch a glimpse of him heading out the gates. He seems to be taking a slow walk back. Is he gone yet? Yeah, he just left. I turn to flash Monika, reassuring smile. Monika, in contrast, seems a little uncomfortable. I've known Monika for a while now, but I've only seen this side of her once before. That was last week. If you're uncomfortable talking about this, you don't have to force yourself. Sayori, if I keep this inside, I'll get worse. Like, Jasmine already knows a bit of what's been going on. Sorry, to the swallow. I just feel like I need to talk to someone I know isn't going to be completely biased. You think Jasmine's biased? It sounds dumb, but it's a slight worry of mine. Monika wipes her eyes with her sleeve. She then looks to the side with an unsteady sigh. Hey, Sayori? Do you want to walk for a bit? It might help me clear my thoughts a bit. I mean, there's a park near where Jasmine and I live, if you're okay with that. That sounds lovely, Sayori. Let's go. We both then get our bags before heading out the club room. Monika then locks up. Okay. Monika then locks up and we start heading out to school. For some reason I was a bit weirded out by locks up. Park. We end up taking a slow walk to the park. Partially to give Monika more time to straighten her thoughts, partially to take in the scenery. I haven't been here for a few years now. Jasmine and I would always come up here when we were kids. Eventually, though, we come up to a bench and I sit down. I pat the seat next to me, but Monika simply stands there. She breathes slowly through slowly parted lips, almost like she's preparing herself for whatever she's going to tell me. I'd say seeing her like this is something new to me, but it isn't. Well, not like this. I've seen her be slightly anxious about things before, especially when we first started up the club. But I've never seen her get angry like that before, nor have I seen her cry like she did after I caught up to her. I clear my throat. So, about earlier? I stammer, surprisingly able to form a short question. I've got some explaining to do, huh? I guess I've got some explaining to do, huh? It's nice seeing her starting to seem like herself, but I can't help but feel like there is a slight tinge of sadness to her voice. She takes yet another deep breath before looking me dead in the eye. Oh, where do I begin, Sayori? Probably with what you got so worked up in the first place. She sighs nervously through parted lips, a sea of thoughts flowing through her mind. Can you promise that this will remain between us two? Of course, yeah! After this, these lips will remain sealed. I do a mock zipping my mouth motion, and succeed in getting a slight giggle from Monika. But what happened? So, me and Jasmine were on a date Saturday, and he stayed out whilst I went in one store to get something that I thought he'd like. And when I get out, you're always there chatting with him. I mean, that's obviously not an issue on its own. Where is she going with this? I just got a little nervous since Jasmine's my first boyfriend, you know? I guess it's only natural. Like, I wouldn't exactly know. I've never been with anyone like that. My dad didn't do anything to help my worries, though. He just made them worse, like he always does. I slightly raised my brow in confusion. Like he always does? I gulp. What did he say? Once again, Monika looks me right in the eye, and there is sadness to her gaze. If you don't mind me asking, of course. If you don't want to talk about it, he made enough comment about Jasmine probably seeing Yuri behind my back. My eyes widen. No, no! I know Jasmine, he'd never do that! I know he wouldn't. It's just that something about what he said. I guess it just stuck with me more than I thought. I even had to step out of one of my classes before I thought I was gonna just explode at Yuri. Monika then pauses, starting to nervously rub her wrist. Her breathing becomes visibly faster as her chest starts rising up and down rapidly. I feel a chill down my spine as my heart starts to beat faster. I feel tears on my own starting to form. Monika, Monika then starts to shiver. Then my shock, her legs then buckle, and she falls to her knees. Monika! I rush over to her. Despite her shaking, I rest my hands on her arms. A gentle smile forms across my face, almost as if I'm trying to transfer some positivity to her. I gotta stay strong for her. No matter how difficult this talk gets, I have to try. I at least owe her that much. I'm a mess, Sayori. No, Monika, I am, and I always have been. You're just saying it for the first time. Those are the exact same words I said to Jasmine when I got how did I know this sooner? Monika, why didn't you say so? I never wanted you to know. I never wanted anyone to know. How as much as I love Jasmine, he never should have known how I actually am. I'm not Little Miss Perfect as everyone seems to think I am. I'm just a broken, needy, uptight little bitch. As Monika's voice breaks, she presses her face against my shoulder. I can feel her tears start to stain my blazer. That was right. I'm an emotionally unstable wreck. He said that about you. I feel Monika nod against my shoulder. That's not even the worst thing he said to me. Am I okay to ask what the worst thing was? She pauses for a moment. Actually, I don't want to talk about that. Sorry. She then holds me tighter. She's shaking. Just how long has this been going on for? I need to apologize to them both. Monika releases herself from my arms and goes to grab her bag. Wait, you're not gonna do that now, are you? Yeah? What about it? That's a terrible idea! At least, that's what I say internally. Externally, I sigh. Look, I personally would wait till tomorrow to apologize. Like, you can't rush things like this. Monika averts her eyes, seeming deep in thought. You're right. That's probably for the best. Monika then gives me an earnest smile, something I'd not seen from her since we left campus. After everything that's happened today, coupled with everything she just confessed, it's honestly a relief. I might need some suggestions on how to apologize. I think for a bit. I think with Yuri it might be easier if you wrote something. With Jasmine, maybe just, I don't know, talk to him? Yeah, that could work. And there's that nervous look again. I walk towards Monika and rest my hand on her shoulder. You got this. I believe in you. Thank you. After another quick hug, we end up leaving the park. We then reach a familiar part of the street. When we reach a familiar part of the street, we split off and start to head back home. Interesting. I like the idea of Monika finally being able to cry. She's the only one who never got to cry in neither the main game, at least unless you like interpret her crying during like the I still love you scene like I did. But generally we never get like any crying expression from her. In the side stories we get one from Yuri when like at least like in the image in the CG, but we never get anything from Monika, so I feel like it would be nice to have like a story exploring her struggles with perfectionism. But going with the father route, I mean, it works. I just feel like it would have been nice to just explore her perfectionism without it being necessarily related to any actually like antagonistic individual. Because I feel like that would also make for a very good story. And since we know that's the case, that this is a fact and not any addition to interpretation of like why she's perfectionistic. Just speaking about perfectionism and finally allowing Monika to cry as well as she did for the others whom, or like Yuri was more allowed to cry by Sayori, obviously, but finally having her be able to also be open with the others like that, I feel like that would be nice. And I feel like that would also work, or perhaps maybe even work better than I feel like that would also work even better if it was more just about her perfectionism and how it's genuinely impacting her, and not just in a matter of I push my perfect image on other people and end up harming them that way. Even though, like, I want the best for them, but I think this image of perfection I have in my head is the best, even though it's not the best for them. And I feel like exploring how it impacts her, not just the way she ends up unintentionally doing that all the time with others and therefore harming others, but also how it affects her, would make for a really cool story. But I feel like that would work maybe even... like, I feel like it would work better if it was like just the perfectionism, perhaps even. I don't know. This with the father... it works, but... it feels a lot like exit music due to that. And due to that, it ends up taking away a bit of the charm that this mod could have had if we just explored what we know of Monika. I generally won't really judge that, but I feel like it will in fact end up impacting my view of the mod, because when I give my review it's like personal. Like when I review like the canon is, I do in fact try to see what I've seen in the game, but even then it's just what I've noticed in the game. There still might be things I've missed and that others picked up on and put in these mods. But story-wise there's also like quite a bit of personal preference in there, because there are stories I enjoy more than others, of course. And I feel like I genuinely enjoyed the story more if it had like this original taint of there is no actual antagonist. Like her parents might be a bit pressuring, but they themselves don't even notice that, and they're not like, you failure, but rather just... I spoke about it before, but they don't even notice they're genuinely just putting a lot of pressure on her. And it would still work with the idea that she might have wanted to jump off the roof, because there are so many students I knew in my school who had like loving families and quite a big friend group. Is the music normally like this? I hope so. And like they had like a good friend groups and a loving family, but the stress of school and wanting to succeed and being scared for the future still led them to have bad thoughts about harming themselves. So I feel like the story would perfectly fine without it being that close to exit music. Of course, like I said, that's just personal preference, but I hope I haven't played that many mods yet. I still have a lot saved on my PC that I want to play. And I hope maybe we will get to a story at some point which has more of this as well. Because I feel like that would be a very cool idea, and I'm struggling with coding, and none of my friends know coding. They might be able to make a few songs for me, like a soundtrack, and help me with the writing, because especially since I really like Monika, I might end up spiraling a bit too into the nice part, and one of my friends isn't that much of a Monika fan. And henceforth would be able to correct me. So I feel like with writing and music, it would be fine for me to create a mod, but I have absolutely no idea with like coding. And with art, I'm still practicing. So I feel like I will have to see if I ever even want to do that, because I kind of rather have the idea that I maybe want to make a few comics, or maybe like some, you know, when you like listen to a song and you imagine like the story to it, and I kind of have that with like the DLC animations. While I can't animate, I kind of maybe want to try making a little bit of like multiple pictures that are some people already say that's animation, but I would still call it like, I'm not sure if I would call it animation, but I maybe want to try to do that at some point, because I feel like there are a lot of things I'm still looking forward to doing, not just on YouTube but in general in my life. There are a lot of things I still want to do, and I feel like I don't want to if I want to try to code then as well, that would also take up a lot of time. I mean, I'm still pretty young, so maybe eventually I will try to pick it up. I was thinking about making mods because there are some ideas that I feel like not many people have. Or like, at least I've not really found a mod that really is the same type of mod as to the idea that I have, the idea sense. And sometimes I kind of, there was like a time where I was really like, maybe I can make a mod sometimes, but I feel like if then it would be later, after I've already first and foremost gotten better at art and don't have as much going on in my life anymore. I was just thinking about it because I feel like there are so many good ideas out there that are possible, and sometimes it's just parts of the story. Like, the story itself is fine, but my personal preference is a bit different, and due to that I sometimes feel bad because I can't make a mod and these people went out and did it, so I feel like I don't have too much of a right to be like, oh, but couldn't you have done this and that? I mean, I suppose you could take it like with the, even if you're not a cook, when you like taste the food, you can still tell that it's to your taste, or if it's bad, but generally bad. If it's to your taste, I'll say here, because this with the father is more of a personal preference thing, but I don't generally mind the idea, but I feel like exploring just the perfectionism and not having any real like antagonistic force that is displayed as this really more of generally hardly any redeeming qualities. We don't know the father yet if he has any redeeming qualities. But if this is like exit music but there are no redeeming qualities, because I feel like there was because it feels a little bit very exit music like with the father again. That's why I'm taking it. And if there are no redeeming qualities, I feel like it would be cool to play like mods where there is no real antagonist, but it's like still more of a sad mod, not like just a romance mod, because an antagonist is not necessarily necessary there, but just like a tragedy or drama mod with no actual antagonist. Like, even no, in DDLC you can take Monika as the antagonist, although that's kind of dependent on taste. The real antagonist is merely the game, as we see with Sayuri in Act 4, the normal ending at least. Or the quick ending, because I must say I deem what Sayuri does there also quite bad. But you can take Monika as like one of the antagonists there. Depends on your opinion, because I wanted to go Monika the whole time, so since she isn't going against the protagonist, which I would take as the player there, and due to the game there. So basically she wasn't the antagonist in my case, so that's why I'm a bit reluctant to say that she is like a fully antagonist. But even there she's quite more of a morally grey character. And I feel like mods where there is no inherent evil, maybe an antagonist, but that even that antagonist is more morally gray, so let's see how the father is here. But I feel like that would be neat to have more mods that are on the more tragic side and all, and like the dramatic side, but there's no actual completely evil antagonist, because in all of the mods I've played thus far, that has not been the case. There was always some morally just not good person on no gray scheme either. So I hope when I go check out the other mods, maybe I'll find some, because I do enjoy stories where there's like no complete evil. They can work. They can work, because some people just genuinely are power hungry pieces of shit. These people exist, and no, they're not morally gray. So I don't mind stories with that in there, but I feel like morally gray characters give me more time to overanalyze things. With a heavy sigh, I lay down my bed. I finally continue now. I'll put a chapter there to make sure that people can skip it if they're not that interested in my thoughts. I suppose then you could just watch a playthrough with no commentary in there. But I really like to yap a lot, I know, so... So I don't really want to hold up anyone too much. With a heavy sigh, I lay down on my bed. I turn my hands over my... I turn my hands over my face. Great, I'm back speaking and I'm doing this. Okay. I run my hands over my face and through my hair. I'm such an idiot. Such a fucking idiot. I grumbled to myself, still regretting what had transpired earlier with Monika. Again, I know Sayori told me not to worry, but I can't help but worry. My mind keeps telling me that I'm partially responsible for her outburst. I did leave her a few texts telling her I was sorry, but nothing. She probably still needs to collect her thoughts because she wants to apologize as well. Nothing but a sea of text that hasn't even been marked as seen yet, alone read. Oh. I yawn and stretch. I check the time as I rub my eyes. 10:32 p.m. Bloody hell, I need sleep. I grumble. I contemplate sending Monika a final text, but ultimately decide against it. Before charging my phone for the night, though, I feel it vibrate in my hand. I turn the phone towards me so I can see the screen. My heart skips when I see the notification. One new message. Monika, with a heart. I pass my lock screen and read her message. Hey, sorry for blanking you so long. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Heart. I feel a weight being lifted from my chest as I breathe a sigh of relief. I send a quick text back. Love you too. Heart. With that final text, I put my phone on charge. A renewed smile on my face. That's at least my immediate worry laid to rest. As for tomorrow, though, I'm still a little anxious. Especially knowing the weight of today's event. But at the same time, I'm hopeful. That's glad. That's glad?